finally it worked. Oh my gosh. Hallelujah. Hi everyone. It's Vanessa Simpkins. Man, did I ever have such an interesting time logging on today. And I am here. Hallelujah. It worked. Woohoo. Thank you all for your patience. I'm a little bit late. Webinar Jam had a whole new crisis with YouTube Live. So welcome all of YouTube who's here live, and welcome everyone to the 10K in 30-day live weekly webinar. I am your host, Vanessa Simpkins from takeyourpowerbacknow.com. And welcome Roxanne, Stacy, Shantae, Christina, Gali, Andrew. There's a bunch of you guys here. Welcome, welcome. I want to make sure that this is all new here for me, running it this way, and that you guys can all hear me. Go ahead and type your name in the chat box. Let me know that you can all hear me and that this wonderful technology is working. If you're new to this webinar, this is going to be for you specifically if you are a woman entrepreneur, spiritual woman. If you are interested in learning about marketing, mindset, manifesting, sales techniques to help you get your business out there in a bigger way, hit 10K in the next 30 days. If you're new to my work, I am a best-selling author. I have 2 books, Take Your Power Back Now, The Ultimate Confidence Guide for Women, and From Bankrupt to $900 a Day Selling Mops. These are all available on Amazon. Stick around. I give away copies here today. And just want to make sure before we dig in today, we're going to have a really awesome training. I did a Soul Sister Mastermind. I hosted an event here in California. 7 amazing women get to spend the weekend with me doing live masterminding, fun in the sun. We get big brim hats. I have a photographer come out and stoke us out in some of the most amazing, gorgeous. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Shantae. Okay, awesome. Stacy, Victoria's here. Hey, Victoria. I can't wait to talk with you later today. Oh my gosh. So last weekend, I did my Soul Sister Mastermind VIP weekend. We have 7 amazing women that gather. I have a photographer come out, and you get to spend the weekend with me, pick my brains about how to grow your business. And it was a blast. And it was so much of a blast. I really expected everyone to be asking me questions about online sales funnels, and what I received was something very different. And so I decided I'm going to make today's training webinar about these 5 major shifts that people were asking me, that my clients were asking me about. And Roxanne said, I got the books in the mail today. Yay, so nice. I'm seeing a lot of my clients here, which is awesome. So that's kind of cool. You know, if your clients are showing up on free trainings because they just want to get more nuggets and more wisdom, that's a good sign. And so if you are my client, if you're not my client yet, if you're new to my work and you're just joining us here for the first time, hang on to your pants, grab a pen and paper. You're in for a great training. And I want to share with you really those 5 key shifts that we covered in my live private high-end mastermind last weekend, actually. So get ready. So I don't have any slides today for you. It's just going to be me here teaching you. And since this was such kind of a shamboodle to get started, I'm kind of embarrassed. But let me pull up my notes that I want to share with you here. And while I do that, go ahead and type in the chat box if you have any questions for me. If you're watching this already and you're like, I want to know this and I want to know that. What is your biggest question right now about business, about being a coach consultant, about wanting to be a coach or consultant, starting your online business, having a portable, profitable business model? Go ahead and type it in your chat box and let me find these notes here that I have. They're called Soul Sister Notes. So let me just go in. Soul Sister Notes. Here it is. All right, let me pull this up. Pull it up. Okay, so as I was sharing with you, one of the biggest questions that I got over the weekend, I thought, again, people are going to ask me about online sales funnels and Facebook ads and all this complicated stuff, but no, my clients wanted to know, Vanessa, how do I create a marketing message? You know, what do I say when I walk into a networking event? What do I call myself? And so a lot of my clients are women who are changing careers. You know, they're either working in a corporate space or they have a job and they feel this calling to be a women's empowerment leader, an inspirational leader, a mindset mentor, a something more than what they are. And how do you make that transition when you go to a networking event, when you see people or you meet somebody in the Starbucks, for example, and they ask you, what do you do? So we actually went around with every single person at the mastermind and developed their, I wouldn't call it an elevator spiel, but it's that initial kind of pitch right? What do you say to people? So I'll tell you what I say to people when I meet them, you know, and this is a really big key here, because in this coaching world, it can become so incestuous and everyone wants to be so different and unique, right? And you end up sounding like a fucking fairy and no one knows what the hell you do. You know, people are so confused. I'm like an essentialist of this or this. Shut up. What do you do? Just tell people what you are. You know, if you're a weight loss coach, you say, I'm a weight loss coach, right? If you're a business coach, I'm a business coach, right? So I like to tell people straight off, one quick shtick, here's what I do. So if I was in the grocery store and I meet people, they say, oh, you know, what do you do? Oh, I'm a sales coach. That's how I stop. And then they ask me, oh, like who, what do you mean? Who are your clients? Well, I work with spiritual women entrepreneurs and I help them create high ticket offers and get over all that crazy mindset shit about, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, who's gonna pay me, all that stuff. Yeah, I help them. So I help them with the sales and then I help them with the mindset piece. And, you know, I have written a few books and I've been on TV a few times. That's what I say. Okay. And if so it's really a conversation that you have with people. The worst thing that you don't want to do is go to a networking event, for example, and you meet somebody and they're like, well, what do you do? And you're like, well, I'm an existential catapulsion consciousness enlivener and I work with blah, and you just keep barfing and barfing and barfing and rah, and it all comes out and it's, people are like, get me away from her. Like, ooh, right? This is what a lot of coaches do, right? They're taught to kind of read the script and it feels and it sounds very phony. So my first tip for you is figure out the quickest, fastest, snippest one-line thing that you are. Do not try and be fancy. Do not try and stand out from above the crowd. Just tell it like it is. One-liner, I'm a blah, blah, blah. And then when people ask you, because they will ask you, well, you know, who are your clients? What kind of, you know, business coach? Who do you work with? You know, they open the conversation for you. This is a real two-way dialogue. Then you can say, you know, I work with this audience. And again, if you're confused about your audience, this is the next shift. So first shift is, how do you announce yourself to the world? Okay, how do you talk about your services in a way in which people are like, you know, going to raise their hand. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to continue teaching. I'm seeing a bunch of questions pop up, so I will get to those. So continue asking any questions that you have. And so it's the first shift, you know, tell people what it is. And then the second shift is, a lot of people don't know who their ideal clients are. They're like, well, who really is my ideal clients? And in this world of let me put you online, you know, let's build systems and funnels, you really need to be clear about who your ideal clients are. Because, you know, your online funnel, this whole foundation, all of this stuff that you're going to put everything into is based on really understanding who your target audience is. And your target audience as a coach or consultant is going to be you 3 to 5 years ago. You 3 to 5 years ago, before you had all of these major aha moments, wake-up calls, shifts, realizations. That's your ideal client. So, so when people ask you, well, who are your clients? You can tell them that version. You know, I work with, and so who were you? You know, who were you 3 to 5 years ago? Roxanne says, I'm a wellness warrior. You are a wellness warrior. Victoria says, I'm a realtor. I say, I'm a realtor, and I shut up. Yeah. And so people will probably ask you, right, Victoria, they're like, well, what kind of real estate do you sell? You know, people are curious. And this is a great way to get into a conversation, right? And what is sales at the end of the day? It's a relationship. Ding, 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 ding. You know, so the faster that you can, you know, create rapport and build rapport with people, the faster you're going to develop sales. So Stacy says, I like to develop online courses involving elements, chakras, and crystals. I totally love it. I'm like all for it. I'm actually a pixie. Do I always sound like a fairy? Lol. So it's okay to be a fairy. It's totally okay to be a fairy. And you can tell people straight out, you know, I'm a spiritual coach. Or I'm a spiritual, you know, I'm a spiritual coach. I'm a spiritual guide. People will be like, what is that? And that's okay. You want to pique people's curiosity. What you don't want to do is just kind of barf all over them, like all of this whole big, huge, big rattly thing. And people, you know, they're like, okay, this is this pitch. It feels fake. So tell them what you are. And then when they ask you who your clients are, know who they are. So it's a second shift. First shift, know how to talk to people about what you do. Second shift, know who your ideal clients are and be able to explain that. And so what I like to do is when I talk to people about my clients, I say, well, my clients are women, you know, entrepreneurs who, you know, are creating high ticket offers, and I help them create high ticket offers, and I work on all their mindset stuff. And if these people are now still listening to me, you know, and they're still curious, then I start to tell them case studies. Well, so for example, I had a client of mine, Tanya, who came to see me after getting divorced, and her family told her she was crazy and she should go get a job. And, you know, she'd been doing this coaching thing for a while, couldn't get it to become really super profitable. We started working together. And boom, 60 days later, she took her kids to Mexico. She bought a brand new car. She traveled to California. You know, the whole world, you know, expanded for her once she really understood the art of, you know, creating high ticket sales and owning her value and getting over her mindset gremlins. So using also case studies in your conversations with people will help them understand two things, because the people who are listening to you, they're listening to you for two reasons. Number one, they're listening to find out, am I her ideal client? And if not, the next question, number two, is who do I know in my brain that I could connect her with? So that's why you want to, you know, that's why you want to talk about what you do in such a way that tells them directly who you are, who you service, and gives them a few examples of clients. So it's not so much about, this is my pitch, and it is like this, and it sounds the same way every time I say it, like a constipated, you know, kind of robot. That's not it. It's a conversation. It's a fluid, living thing. It changes depending on whatever client, you know, whatever client I have in my brain. You know, I might use that case study. Does that make sense? So shift number one, you know, how do you talk about what it is you do? And shift number two, who are your ideal clients? Making sure that you're talking about who you were 3 to 5 years ago. So all of your marketing is going out to attract people that were in your same scenario 3 to 5 years ago. Who you were 3 to 5 years ago. A huge block for entrepreneurs is they keep thinking, well, who am I? You know, I'm not a Tony Robbins. How am I supposed to go out there and charge thousands of dollars for this thing called coaching when I'm not Tony Robbins? Who am I? And so what I like to remind you is that in this world, I talk about it here in my first book, it's authenticity is the new currency in business. And I really believe that. People, they don't care anymore about your certifications. They really couldn't care less. They want to know, do you understand me? You know, do you understand where I've been? Do you understand the depths of my pain, of my woe, of my suffering, of my failure, of my perceived failure? And so it's not about being Tony Robbins or having 5 PhDs. It's about letting other people know through the power of story that you understand the depths of their pain, suffering, woe. You know, that you're real enough, that you're vulnerable enough to share a piece of your past, you know, and some nuggets of wisdom that you've learned along the way that can help them. Builds instant rapport, instant relationship, positions you as an expert, and people want to buy from people who understand them. So that's why it's so important to be authentic with your story. I see a lot of coaches that come up in this coaching world and they want to be a Vanessa Simpkins, a mini V. So it's fine, it's great. But listen, you're going to have way more success being a you. You don't have to be a Tony Robbins. You just have to get really good at being you. Because here's the deal. Think about it like this. If you have, you know, let's say you've been on this healing journey, personal development journey. Let's say you are going, you know, Victoria, from one industry to another. Let's say you're doing that. That's okay. But think about how many years you've been investing in yourself, going to trainings, learning about this, excelling at that, overcoming this, overcoming that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you have a grade 12 education in all of these things. You've been going to, events, reading books, whatever it is, watching YouTube videos. Okay, you've been at this a while. You've seen The Secret in like every single format. You've read all the books. So you've got a grade 12 education, let's just say, in personal development, or in raising children, or in selling houses, or in training dogs, or in, breaking through inner mindset gremlins, or whatever it is. You got a grade 12 education. That means that every kindergartner, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11er looks at you like you're a rock star. So you don't have to be Tony Robbins. You just have to be the best you and the most authentic and vulnerable you. The most authentic and vulnerable you, and the realest you in all of your marketing. And that is what people will connect with. Because I really believe in this day and age, people's bullshit meter is so on. They're like, you can smell it a mile away. So none of these scripted things, and just be honest and real with people. Let them in your world. Show them what you've been through. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about, next shift is, I'm kind of merging these together, but another huge, major, massive question I had. There was one of my clients said, Vanessa, and I know, I think that I'm just being too nice on my sales conversations. For some reason, I'm being really nice to these people, and they're just not converting into sales. And I said, well, that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. And she said, yeah, I know, what do I do with it? So I reminded her, so this is the third shift, we're talking about, sales, and sales really happens when you have certainty. So here's what people are actually buying. They're buying the best from you, whether it's the best house, the best energy, right? If you're an energy healer. So Stacy says, I'm an energy healer for pets and people. Awesome. You want to make sure that you're the best. Just tell people you are the best. And then be the best. Show up and give them phenomenal service. Blow them out of their freaking socks. Be the best. Show them, give them more than you promised them. Blow them out of the freaking water. Really be the best. Promise them the best, and then blow yourself away. Over deliver. And because here's the deal. Most people are not expecting that. They're expecting the opposite. They're expecting people to, promise them the moon and not give them anything. Or they're expecting, a lot of people have been burned before, especially in this whole coaching arena. I have heard some atrocious stories from some super high level, and I mean super high level. I'm not even mentioning any names, but my mind has been blown apart with some key leaders in this industry, particularly sales and personal development, who are just, I don't even know how to call it, but just side swindoodling people, completely unethically. And so there are a lot of people that have a bad taste in their mouth about investing in coaches again, about making a bad decision, And so during that sales conversation with people, you are really, taking a stand for this person's elevation, expansion, awakening. And they want to know, oh my God, am I making a mistake here? Is this a good thing? So you have to be certain, and not just certain, but you have to, it's not about, people aren't going to hire a friend. Yes, you have to build rapport with them, but they're hiring a coach. They're hiring someone who's going to say, oh, that's a problem. I see this is a problem here. We're going to work on that. People pay to solve problems. Whether you're a realtor and the family is living in a freaking apartment and they need a bigger house because the baby's coming, that's a problem. People pay to solve problems. So as we're talking about, the sales conversation, and this is really, this third key is really shifting into how do you have more sales? Okay. You want to make sure that you have certainty. And a lot of women have problems with this, problems with being certain, because many women have a hard time bragging. I mentioned this on a call this week with some of my clients. Men, if you see them get together, they're gonna chide themselves and they pick at each other and they make fun of each other and they brag about how good they are. And it's like, it's what men do. It's a fun, they find it fun. Women don't do that. Women get together, it's like love and, I don't know, support and understanding and sympathy and cackling laughter, and it's amazing, but there's no bragging like that. That doesn't happen. This is not a normal, natural woman tendency. So now women are getting into the sales conversation and, you know, no, it's not a time to be, what's the word? It's not a time to be humble. It's a time to brag about why you are the best and why your programs are the best and why you have the best service. Because believe it or not, buying the best feels really, really good. And that's what your clients want. And you should not be apologetic for it in any way, shape, or form. And I promise if you do that, you will have more sales. And another key about so people are not buying friends, they're buying real coaches. People who are able to look and say, hey, that's a problem, I'm gonna solve that for you. So what are the problems that you solve for your clients for profit? If you're not clear on that, you need to be. And the more you begin talking about that in your marketing, the more engaging marketing you will have and the more ready to buy clients you will attract, because people spend money to solve a problem. Not living your purpose, major problem. You know, bumping around, investing all kinds of money in this coaching hobby, not making any money, big problem. You know, starting and stopping all these projects but never finishing them, big problem. You know, getting in, doing all this work, getting it all together, getting on the sales conversation, but not closing sales, big problem. You know, what are the big problems that you are solving for your target audience? You want to make sure you know about those. Okay, so we've gone through 3 shifts, 4 shifts. The 4th one is giving up the good for the great. I just did this recently in my business. I just had to fire somebody. No one likes it. It's not nice, but it's essential. So this idea of giving up the good for the great. And giving up the good for the great, you can apply this, I think, in every single area of your life in your business. And I actually have a process that I teach my clients about clearing out their energy leaks. And I go through it, you know, look at your whole life, all of the areas where something is not done. The closet is not clean. The taxes are not done. The bedroom is a disaster. You know, the seatbelt. I use this example of a seatbelt. I had a little dog. I went for a date with this guy, left the dog in the car, dog freaked out, chewed through the seatbelt, and I let it there for months. I lived in Hawaii, and in that, you know, Kauai, Hawaii. And over there, if you want to order a seatbelt, it's going to take you like 8 weeks to get it in from the mainland. So I said, oh, when I move back, you know, move to California, I'll get it done there. Moved to California, life happened. Months went by, it was not a priority. But every time I got into my car, I saw that damn chew seatbelt that was tied together in a knot, and I would say, oh God, that seatbelt again. If you were to catch yourself at how many times that happens in a day, whether you're wearing clothes that have a little hole in it, and every time you look and you say, oh shit, oh God, or a stain, or that crack in the floor that's not fixed, or the old car that goes anytime. Or you're working with a team member and they keep making mistakes and you're like, oh, you know, every time you do that, part of your energy is leaking out. Part of your energy is leaking out, right? It's like a hole, it's a drain. You're not going, oh, amazing, I'm so happy, excited, this is that. No, you're going, You got to clean those up. You got to close the energy leaks. You got to let go of the good for the great. And this is really hard. You know, this is because the human mind, you know, we like certainty. What did I just tell you in the last point? People want to buy certainty. People want to buy. So, you know, it's so much easier to hang on to this like, okay, income that I know I can make instead of risk to get something greater. Oh my God, but there's a risk involved and there's no guarantee. And people go fucking crazy. So if you want to be a really amazing leader, if you want to make a ton of money, if you want to make a ton of social change and impact in the world, you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to let go of the good for the great. So let's do a little, just type in here, guys. You're all here watching this. What are you going to let go of? You know, what I asked this to my clients the other day in the mastermind. What needs to die? Or what needs to be let go of? What needs to end? What personality trait? What idea? What mindset? What fear? What belief? What habit? What relationship? What tendency needs to go? Needs to stop, needs to end, needs to die in order for you to achieve your goals. This is a really powerful awakening here. What do you need to let go of? Type in the chat box. What idea, belief, tendency, habit, or relationship? You know, when I first started my business, I wrote this book, all right? From bankrupt to making $1,000 a week. What is it? From bankrupt to $900 a day selling mops. I went from $1,000 a week to $1,000 a day. And that was, you know, that was how I started my business. I actually, at the very kind of a similar time, I was leaving a bad relationship, nearly killed me. You know, and as a matter, that became this best-selling book, talking about living a narcissistic relationship, giving all my power away. But while I was hanging on to that relationship, there was no room for me to start my business. Oh, no. There was no time for me to work on my own things when, you know, there was this person in my life that, you know, was always having a fit. There was always drama. There was always something. So I had to get rid of him. You know, I had to close. You got to close one door before you can open another. And thank God I did. And I'm engaged to the most amazing, phenomenal, fantastic man. But I had to let go of that relationship first. That was the hardest freaking thing. And for years, I would kind of go around and around in circles, you know. I'm not saying that you have to leave your partners to start your business, but that was definitely, what do you call this, toxic relationship, okay? So what idea, what habit, what pattern, you know, do you have to get rid of in order to reach your goals? Roxanne says, cleaning up my energy leaks like crazy since I joined the 10K in 30 program. You rock star. Yay! Awesome, Roxanne. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. We'll talk about the 10K in 30 program here in a moment. Stacy, I need to let go of comparing myself and my worth to other energy healers. Boom! Huge! Huge! I call this the compare and despair mode, right? It's so easy. Again, this is the Tony Robbins complex. I'm going to call it the Tony Robbins complex, right? Thinking, oh my God, who am I? You know, I'm not a Tony Robbins. Who am I to go out there and be this phenomenal, fantastic thing? There's people out there who are so much better than I am. Absolutely, hands down, this is brilliant. Let go of that shit. Just work on being the best you. Work on being the most visible and vulnerable you. And sharing with people these stories that you've never shared before. You are going to blow those other people out of the water. It doesn't matter. It's not about, the funny thing about this whole, you know, expert, you know, business, being an expert, a leader, a visionary, an empowerment leader, it's actually not about being the best. This is the wildest part. It's about being visible. How many people actually know you? You know, and yes, obviously you have to, you know, deliver great, outstanding service. Otherwise you won't be in business for long. You know, you have to, you know, that's just a given. I've been in business now for 8 years. I would not be here, you know, if I delivered shitty service. So yeah, obviously show up with your best foot forward, give amazing service. But the first thing that comes before any of that is being real and raw with people. So I totally applaud you, Stacy, for letting go of this. I call it the compare and despair mode. And the next mode is, you know, the Tony Robbins syndrome. Get rid of that. You are awesome. You just need to get out there and start sharing more of you with the world. Shantae says, getting rid of energy leaks was a game changer for me. Boom, boom. Whenever I notice one now, I try to deal with it ASAP. Yep. I do this actually every quarter. in my life and my business. And I have sections: health, family, business, relationships, house, car. All of those are areas for me. So the house is a huge one. Just cleaning out crap out of my garage is a big thing. Our garages are always clean. Drive the car in. I don't want to see shit anywhere. That's like a weekly thing. But anywhere, your office desk, your office space, the words you say to yourself. Roxanne says that ring is so big. I know, right? It's a huge gargantuan ring. Look at this thing. Okay, it's called a piece of hardware. One of my mentors looked at me. He's like, "Let me see your piece of hardware." This amazing man, Alex, go get a picture of him if you guys haven't seen him yet. He actually picked out this ring all by himself. There's a picture of us on the beach. Oh my God, there's so much glare on there with his kids. So I'm hashtag the bomb stepmom. 3 amazing little baby, not little babies, but little baby children. 7, Corinne's 7, McKenna is 9, and Kylie is 11. And so they just came barreling into my life with all kinds of amazing magic, juju, love, and fulfillment, something I was really missing. And he picked out this phenomenal ring all by himself. So amazing, man. We're going to high five to Alex. I'll tell him that I shared that today. He'll be really happy. Fear. Shantae saying, letting go of fear. New clients will be upset if they find out my old prices for old clients. Ha! Good. Get rid of that one. You got to let go of that shit. It's gone. Get rid of it. What do you need to let go of? What needs to die? What needs to end? What personality trait, habit, belief, fear, idea, this old decision needs to go in order for you to hit the next level? Make no mistake, you do have to close one door before you open another one. What's that quote? You can't create a new world with the same mind that created it. You can't create a solution to a problem with the same mindset that created it. So guarantee you, your clients, most of them, here's what's happened with me in my business. Whenever I make an up level and charge new prices, the older ones are like, shit, what is she doing? I better get on board here and find out what she's doing before she gets too expensive. So don't worry about that. My biggest struggle, daily struggle for me, right? Fear of letting go of what your clients will charge. So this is something that works in kind of stages as you get out there with your prices and you start up leveling them and charging more. The best advice I can give you is that you have to honor you. And the person who needs to love you the most is you. You can live your life for other people, or you can live it for you. If you live it for other people, you'll be constantly needing approval. You'll be constantly measuring your success based on how other people think of you. And I can tell you the moment, and this was a journey, but the moment when I really decided that's it, this is, I'm going to be happy for me. And I started honoring that for me, which often resulted in me telling a few people off, meaning not off, but just speaking my truth. I could have a conversation with anyone, with the mailman, with anybody. And I could tell them just very directly, hey, you know what? I feel like this, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. Here it is. Whether or not you hate me, you threw a knife at me, which never will happen, or insulted or whatever, this is now your reaction, your responsibility. My responsibility to me is to be honest with myself. That's why in the Bible says, and the truth will set you free. It will. Sometimes it might piss you off first. It might piss other people off first too. But I've learned that the more I honor me, the more I honor this thing inside me, this feeling, this upwelling, the more I honor it, and I communicate that honestly with other people, the more it sets me free. So I love all of this. Thank you for sharing. We're talking about the fourth shift, which is giving up good for great. Got to close one door before you open another one. And the last shift is really about leveling up. The last shift is about leveling up. If you won't treat yourself well, this is a perfect tie-in what we're just talking about. One of the women that came to the event, she just had like a $14,000 sales week. And we did some mindset work in the past, and she realized there was this little gremlin there about making a ton of money. It might affect her relationship with her husband. They might have different spending tendencies. She wanted to give some money away to charity. Panic, panic, panic. And so that was like, I call this, if you have this goal in your mind, let's say you want to hit 10K in the next 30 days, or you want to hit whatever, $50,000, $100,000 a month in your business, whatever it is. If that's your goal and you have these thoughts or beliefs that are not in alignment with that, for example, you might have a goal, I want to hit $10,000 in sales in the next 30 days, but you have this little gremlin, that's what I call it, little belief hanging out in your subconscious that says, well, I don't know if you can't have what you really want, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready yet, or nothing ever works out for me, or I call them little gremlins because they're just kind of little gremlins like that hang out. If you have any of those, it's kind of like there's a stick that goes right through you're bicycling on the way to your goal. And there's a stick that goes right through the spokes, and you fall off the bike, and that's it. You're never going to hit your goal. You fall on the floor. That's what thoughts actually do. So we got rid of that thought. So get rid of it. It's okay if you have lots of money. The more money you make, the better your relationship grows. We made some new thoughts that were really in alignment with your goal. Boom, she closed $14,000 in business. Shows up at the mastermind. Now we're at the montage. We have a $3,000 fancy ass suite at the montage. They're bringing in chocolate truffles. There's a photographer. There's big hats and clothes and women clucking around and flying around doing a photo shoot. That's all you need. Women and photo shoots and chocolate. That's it. Some champagne. And this is massive luxury. One of the five-star locations here in Southern California. And the topic was, allowing in abundance and making it okay, making it okay for some of these women to even be here and not feel guilty about not taking care of the family, of the kids, of the business, and just relaxing and enjoying for 2-3 days. It's okay, oh my gosh, is it okay for me we're going out for lunch every day? Oh my God, I'm spending money at these restaurants. Right? What's that showing you? And so, we were working on goals, and, she said, I want to make $33,000 a month. And oh my God, there's almost like a panic there. Okay, great. Well, this is amazing awareness. Let's look at this. Because, abundance is really a state. It's a state. It's a state that always exists, and you can tune in and out of it. It's not a striving to get to somewhere. It's an allowance of I'm already here, and I can assume that state. It's okay for me. It's an agreement. It's okay for me to have that kind of money. It's okay for me to be ostentatious and wildly wealthy and run around in big hats and drink margaritas on Monday by the pool and live in luxury. I can get used to this. This is okay. So I love the Soul Sister Mastermind. It's inviting women to really be in the experience of massive luxury. What's the best way to invite wealth is to vibrate wealth. So the fifth key here is really to allow yourself, to level up and to do it for yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to, buy you that expensive outfit or take you for the expensive dinner or treat you. You've got to treat yourself first. You've got to be the one that opens the door and says, yeah, I'm worth it. This is totally worth it. I am totally worth this. I'm totally worth the fancy ass haircut with this overpriced freaking best hairdresser in town. That was a big one for me. I used to live in Hawaii. If I wanted to, I'd cut my own hair and I'd get away with it and look great. I could spend tons of money on a car, but on hair, it was a different story. So that was my big, for most women, it's not a big thing, but for me, that was a big line. Like, what? Spending a couple $100 on a haircut? Are you crazy? You've got to do that for yourself first. Because if you don't do it, nobody else will. So another little challenge, go ahead and type this in the chat box. What is one thing that you've been kind of holding off because it's too expensive, it's ostentatious? Oh my God, maybe you have some ideas about, oh my God, people might judge me if or that's crazy. My mother, brother, husband, aunt, uncle, sister, cousin would kill me if I did that. But there's something, you know, that you want to either spend money on, invest in. It's a total luxury for you. You know, it's kind of outside of you wouldn't normally spend that on yourself, you know. What's one thing that you could do, you know, in the next week or two or month, you know, that you've been wanting to, that's totally outside of your comfort zone, that's a total stretch, you know, that would really show you, you know, a new level of self-worth, because you're creating the levels with every decision you make or not make. So go ahead and type that into the chat box and let me know what edge, what is that edge? What would be a something that would be a little bit of a stretch for you to invest in, but that's something, you know, that you would really like. For example, I bought these doors here. I got to decorate this new house that we moved into, and I got to decorate a new office. And, you know, I'm a pretty practical girl. You know, I shop on like Wayfair.com and buy things on deals. I love finding deals. But I bought these doors. I wish I could turn the computer on. I'm plugged in here, the hardwire. I had these blue doors that I bought. And they have no purpose whatsoever. No functionality. No, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing about these doors whatsoever. They don't even hold out the sound. They're not even hanging up. But they are gorgeous. I mean, they are these antique barn doors. They're blue and they're scraped off, and they have like white and brown in them, and they've got these big metal clinky things, and oh my God, they are pieces of art. And so that's kind of my new thing. So I'm gonna, whenever I do really well in my business and hit my goals, I go out and I buy nice kind of artsy, art kind of antique furniture. That's my new, like, yeah, I don't need it. There's no necessary need for it. It's not necessary, but it's beautiful. It gives me pleasure. And so maybe that's a better question. What would give you a lot of pleasure? What would give you pleasure, just for the sake of pleasure, but that you know, you haven't gone out or haven't done that yet? Stacy said, I was holding off from hiring a business coach until I found 10K in 3 days. Huge step in investing in myself. Yes, congratulations, Stacy. Woohoo! Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you, and most people here are my clients. Christina says, I need to stop feeling like top in my business. Don't leave space for me to succeed. I'm just finding all of these things in here. Yes, a lot of you have invested in yourself. And let me tell you something. Because you have invested in yourself, and it might be like a total stretch and a total luxury. Guess what? Now other people are going to invest in you at that amount or more. You can't walk around, you know, selling something that you don't believe in yourself. So that's the first key. So I'm really, really proud of you. And yes, congratulations. So I love that you guys have all participated here today. And I hope you've enjoyed these 5 major shifts. Again, I'm going to mail a copy of one of these books out to whoever can go ahead and tell me, what are the 5 shifts again? And I kind of like repeating myself. So the first person to name them, I will mail you a copy of my book. You can keep it for yourself, or you can have me sign it off to somebody else as a gift. Totally happy to do any of that. First person to type in the chat box, what are the 5 shifts that I covered here today? Oh, Victoria, you want to buy a car for my mom? You're so nice. Yeah, you got to do it. We've got to do that. It's going to be your first goal. I actually just got off the phone with my mom this morning, and I'm not lying. I'm going to show you here on my phone. It's so funny you say that. So I bought a car in Hawaii. I bought a car in Canada. Well, first I used to live in Canada, so I had a car there. And recent, there you go. Mom. 10:34 a.m. She's at the top of the list here today, okay? And the next number is her garage. So I have a car in Canada, and I had a kind of a rough conversation with my mom. She went to go in and get it serviced, and they came out with an $800 bill. I was like, oh my God, a freaking heart attack. But, thank God my business, I can afford to, pay for my mom to drive a new car. She was driving this old jalopy 20-year-old. My mom's from the, originally we're from the Ukraine. My grandmother lived through the Second World War. Like, the stories in my family about, money and wealth. There's a lot of old stories, a lot of, oh, your grandmother used to have to starve herself for a day to buy us a chocolate bar. And your aunt went through high school with 2 pairs of underwear that she had to sew together. Oh, shut up, like, really. I am not living this life to live out your old fucking shitty stories of poverty and death and freaking life. To me is abundant. There are plenty of opportunities, though I'm not buying those stories, but yet, and, my mother and her 2 sisters, I love them, I adore them. They live the kind of a life of poverty, fear, anxiety, severe anxiety, and so, I retired my mother's like 15-year-old car, whatever it was, and I let her drive my new one in Canada. So let's work on that goal, Victoria. I think it's wonderful. So anyone here? I'm shocked. Nobody here has guessed. What are the 5 shifts? What are those 5 shifts? Somebody take a stab at them here, and I will mail you a signed copy of a physical copy of the book. If you like today's webinar, lots of juicy goodies in both of these books. They both come with $500 worth of video and audio bonuses, recordings, trainings. Some of them, both of them actually, with some of my favorite mentors in the world. And this book is really about sales and spirituality. It's about the law of attraction in business. It's about what I learned doing live product demonstrations on stages for 4 years in front of people. It was a great platform to become an entrepreneur, practice, way of practicing speaking. This book has some juicy nuggets on it. And this book also has $500 worth of bonuses. And it's really about the journey from leaving a narcissistic, kind of semi-abusive, emotionally abusive relationship, and that healing journey of really taking my power back and being a conscious creator, and notes of wisdom along the way. It's about confidence. It's about women being able to have everything. It's about being an amazing mom and a business owner. It's about really honoring your calling with source, spirit, God in the world, and showing up as that best version of yourself. So if I do say so myself, I think they're great books. And still nobody here has left comments on what are the 5 shifts. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check inside YouTube afterwards, because I think there's a bunch of people here from YouTube Live, which is so new for me. Okay, I got the first 3. Know your ideal client. People pay to solve the problem. Get rid of energy leaks. Yep, this is some of them. Some of them, I think I mentioned a few more than 5. So I'll throw that out there. If you can mention just 5 of the things I spoke about today, I'll send you a copy of my book. Go ahead and type that into the chat bar. And again, we have these live weekly webinars every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, whether you're joining us live or watching the replay. Sometimes I have guests. I'm traveling to Hawaii in a couple of weeks, I think on November 2nd. So there'll be a guest hosting the webinar all by themselves. I might have my friend come in and do another one on PR and publicity. And so tune in every week, where we have different discussions about mastering your mindset, manifesting, marketing, sales. It all happens here, and really this webinar is here to help you up level, to help you take your business to the next level, to help you show up as the best version of yourself, to help you make more sales, to help you have more confidence, and really to support you in walking your talk and really showing up and saying yes to that next version of yourself, that next evolution of you. It's an exciting, magic freaking carpet ride. And I adore each and every one of you for being here. Victoria's got a book on the way. Know what to say about yourself. Be short and to the point. When I invest in myself, other people invest in me like you did. Absolutely. So come back and join us here every week. And if you're interested, if you're intrigued and you want to know more about working with me, you can apply for this amazing 10K in 30 days Skyrocket Your Confidence and Cash Flow program. And many of the women here are already in that program. As you can see from some of the chat, it is an amazing boot camp where you get to connect with me live, in person, and over the phone, and in a Facebook group, and actually talk with me twice a week. So there's a lot of connection and community. This is not just about you, working with my coaches. This is about me jumping in the game with you and really helping you get clear on your audience, your marketing messages, help you really up-level your sales, have more confidence, and really, put together the next 3 steps, always just the next 3 steps to help you get your business out there, be visible, deliver value, and make offers. That is what's really going to help you get to 10K in the next 30 days. So that program, if you are interested in it, if you're listening in here and you're not one of my clients already and you'd like to find out more about it, you can go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. I'm going to type it in the chat box here, but it's takeyourpowerbacknow.com. There's back now, don't forget the now part. takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. If you go to that URL, takeyourpowerbacknow.com / I forgot the / after the .com, hold on a second. Okay, 10K ready. If you go to that link, you can apply and find out all about it and see some cool testimonials and learn really what the program is about and how to get started. So I adore you. See you, Roxanne. Victoria, I already have your address, so you've already got a book coming in the mail. Congratulations. And thank you, everyone, for joining. I absolutely adore you. Continue showing up. I say this all the time. I really actually do mean it, that 90% of success is showing up. Showing up when you don't feel like it, showing up when there's other places you'd rather be, when you don't feel like a success. Just keep showing up. That one little piece, one little nugget, one little insight can be a huge dramatic explosion of, skyrocketing your success to the next level. It really just takes that one little nugget, one little piece of clarity, massive power, massive expansion. So that's my intention for you. That's my intention here for the webinar series. I adore you. Victoria says, I have your first book already. Got it this morning from Amazon. Okay, so does that mean you want this one, or does that mean you want this one? This is my first book. Do you want this one, to Take Your Power Back Now, or the From Bankrupt to $900 a Day one? Let me know. They're both great. I will send you whichever one you want that you don't have. And for all of you listening in, thank you again for tuning in. Keep showing up. I adore you. I love you. And I will see you guys on next week's live weekly webinar. And if you're in my program, I'll see you guys in the program. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.